What is public knowledge is that he got arrested.
It's a DUI this time, but it could have been worse.
I'm hanging out with some convicts.
Maurice was arrested and got out for the DUI. He was on social media with a bottle of liquor in his hand.
Again? I want to know sincerely how you're feeling in those moments. I can't help what I don't know.
I don't really know if you can help me.
After spending many years in Maurice's shadow, Kimmie has at long last emerged as the center of attention at this point. Believe me when I say that nobody saw this coming. In the courtroom, justice was not the only thing that took place. It developed into a stage for Kimmie to stage a powerful comeback. The question now is, what did she win and how did she manage to do it? It has come to light that Kimmie was not merely fighting without anyone seeing her. She had been quietly preparing for a legal battle that would change everything, and according to the documents filed with the court, Kimmie had filed for a legal separation from Maurice earlier this year. However, things quickly escalated when she accused him of concealing assets.
All of that foolishness that you felt like was no big deal at one particular time has blossomed into a whole forest of big deal. Because my husband has all over the internet about having sex with his wife with cancer.
The allegations are true. Maurice is said to have transferred money into hidden accounts and even transferred property to relatives in order to prevent Kimmie from gaining access to it. Nevertheless, Kimmie was not playing. She arrived well prepared, bringing receipts that revealed every shady move that had been made. And when she went to court, she did not simply ask for what she was entitled to. She also demanded back pay for the contributions she had made to Maurice's businesses. She claimed that she had worked without receiving adequate compensation while he was building his empire, together with her assistants. A significant financial settlement and a portion of ownership in one of Maurice's most important business ventures were awarded to Kimmie as a result of the judge's decision to rule in her favor on multiple counts. Not only does this legal victory involve a change in their financial situation, but it also has the potential to affect the roles that they play on Love and Marriage Huntsville. The fans are already curious about how Maurice will recover from his injury. Will Kimmie's victory result in additional drama on camera, or will this be the moment when she finally emerges from Maurice's shadow? Let's talk about it. According to initial impressions, Kimmie and Maurice appear to be the epitome of a power couple.
Kimmie is doing as admirable as a spouse. To roll over and suffer through it, I look at it as her standing by me while I'm standing by her. There's a difference between wants and needs. I'm a person who actually needs sex, not a person who wants sex.
Why do you need sex?
I need sex like Carlos needs mess.
They were more than just husband and wife. They were also business partners, co-owners of ventures, and they shared the kind of polished, united front that fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville admired. As they worked side by side, attempting to achieve their professional goals while also maintaining their marriage, they gave off the impression that they were a team that would always have each other's backs, regardless of the circumstances. Despite the fact that the cameras captured the fans' smiles and words of support, something else was developing behind the scenes. The fans appeared to have a strong relationship with each other. Maurice started making strange financial decisions, investing in new projects without really involving Kimmie, moving money between accounts that she didn't even know existed, and signing contracts without her input. These were just some of the ways that Maurice began to show signs of weakness. In the beginning, Kimmie tried to ignore it. In her head, she told herself that Maurice was simply taking care of business, that he was under a lot of pressure, and that perhaps he didn't want to weigh her down. With the passage of time, however, viewers who were keeping up with the most recent seasons began to become aware of the tension. During the scenes in which Kimmie and Maurice used to banter with each other in a playful manner, there were awkward silences. It seemed as though their conversation was becoming more formal and transactional. In one episode, Kimmie even questioned a decision Maurice made about one of his real estate deals, and his dismissive response didn't go unnoticed. One question that began to arise among viewers was whether or not they were still on the same page. In spite of this, it turned out that those awkward silences were concealing something much more profound.
It was hella disrespectful, and it doesn't protect me. And now I have to answer questions from my mother?
Yeah, I didn't think about the collateral damage. To me, it was like, if I just apologize to my wife,
So now you gotta apologize to my mother.
During this time, Kimmie was quietly putting the information together. This was not simply a matter of feeling excluded from decision-making. Kimmie began to become aware of insignificant details that did not make sense. During the course of her review of the household's finances, she came across a number of bank transactions that she was unfamiliar with. A significant amount of money was being transferred into and out of accounts that she did not have access to. In addition, she discovered documents that bore her signature, but she had no recollection of signing them. When she confronted Maurice about the transactions, he dismissed her concerns by claiming that they were business and that she had no reason to be concerned about them. It was all a part of managing their expanding portfolio, he assured her, and everything was fine. He reassured her that everything was fine. However, the more he played down the significance of it, the more Kimmie's intuition told her that something was off. Kimmie, who was resolute in her pursuit of data, discreetly retained the services of a private forensic accountant to investigate their financial situation. Despite the fact that she did not make this choice lightly, she believed that she owed it to herself to be aware of the truth. Moreover, that choice altered the entire situation instantly. In the course of the investigation, the accountant discovered a pattern of questionable behavior. Because of the forged signatures that were found on important documents and contracts, Marie was able to acquire sole ownership of properties that they were supposed to jointly own. Kimmie had been effectively excluded from the ownership of certain properties, which had been transferred to trusts that were controlled by Maurice's relatives without her knowledge. When they looked more closely, it became more and more obvious that this was not a case of misunderstanding or careless paperwork. Rather, it was a deliberate act. At that moment, Kimmie realized this wasn't just bad bookkeeping. This was betrayal on a whole new level, and she knew she couldn't stay silent any longer. It had been months since Kimmie had been quietly coping with the emotional toll that Maurice's betrayal had taken on her, but now it was time for her to take action. But Kimmie was aware that she couldn't just ignore this situation. In order to assist her in navigating the intricate web of deception that Maurice had woven, she contacted a lawyer, someone in whom she had complete faith. Documentation, bank records, signed agreements, contracts, and any other evidence that Maurice had attempted to conceal were all included in the collection of evidence that they began together. Kimmie worked in silence, putting the pieces together, while Maurice was away taking care of other things. She did not allow him to see the growing determination that she was experiencing. She made contact with the appropriate authorities and took measures to safeguard her interests. In preparation for the time when she would proceed to the next step, she meticulously filed away each and every document that she had gathered. Kimmie finally handed over the evidence, which was the moment that proved to be the deciding factor. Signatures that had been forged, evidence of transactions that had not been authorized, and questionable financial dealings all pointed directly to Maurice. Kimmie was not merely defending herself anymore. Rather, she was preparing the groundwork for a legal battle that would shake Maurice to his very core. On the other hand, the wife who had been oblivious to the reality was no longer the woman who appeared calm and collected in front of the authorities. She was a woman who was regaining control of her life, and with each document that she handed over, Kimmie was not only protecting herself, she was also constructing the case that would completely transform Maurice's world. Maurice was taken aback by what was about to occur. On one day, he was going about his life as if everything was going according to plan, and the next day he was taken by surprise. They served him with legal documents, and all of a sudden he found himself in the middle of a lawsuit that he had no idea was going to happen. The legal proceeding was a whirlwind indeed. Fraud, forgery of documents, and improper use of Kimmie's name were the serious charges that were brought against she. The deceitful and manipulative world that Maurice had constructed was beginning to fall apart. Despite the fact that his defense was a convoluted mess of half-truths and outright lies, the evidence that was presented against him was indisputable. As Kimmie sat there, poised and determined, the atmosphere in the courtroom was fraught with tension. She had moved away from the chaos and into a new role, that of a key witness, a woman who was no longer afraid of the truth. She had taken this step. After Kimmie took the stand, there was complete silence in the room. Her testimony was incisive, straightforward, and replete with the unfiltered truth associated with her experience. It wasn't just a recounting of betrayal, rather, it was a declaration of her strength, her resilience, and her determination to reclaim what was rightfully hers. Almost immediately, the impact was felt. Maurice's attorneys struggled to refute her testimony, and his appearance of innocence crumbled in front of everyone's eyes. The testimony that Kimmie provided against her husband was more than just that of a wife. She was a woman who was reclaiming her power and her future. The moment that Kimmie took the stand was not merely a testimony. Rather, it was a moment in which she reclaimed her power, her truth, and her future by taking the stand. A new direction was taken by the court's decision. Kimmie was able to walk away victorious with financial restitution in her possession and her name being cleared of any association with the seedy dealings that Maurice had been involved in. More than that, she was shielded from the ever-increasing mountain of debts that he accumulated, debts that she had never agreed to pay. On the other hand, Maurice appeared to be in danger of facing severe legal repercussions, including substantial fines and possibly even jail time. The response from the general public was an instantaneous and overwhelmingly positive one for Kimmie. Her devoted followers rallied around her, praising her for her tenacity and resilience. Someone made a comment like, "Kimmie has been the one who has been the real one. In spite of the fact that she carried herself with grace, she was successful. That is the way to go about it." An additional contributor wrote, "Maurice thought he could play Kimmie like she was naive, but she flipped the script on him and came out swinging." The extent to which she was willing to go in order to reclaim her life was so far that even some of her castmates on Love and Marriage Huntsville were taken aback by her actions. But despite the fact that Kimmie emerged victorious from the courtroom, there was still one question. Where does she go from here, and what does Maurice have left to do? Kimmie was now in a position to move forward with confidence, as the legal battle was now behind her. The fans were curious about whether or not she would continue her business endeavors. Does she have a future with Maurice, or is there a possibility that they will part ways or get divorced in the near future? Kimmie's determination to create a new future was evident, and the opportunities that appeared to be available to her appeared to be limitless. When it came to Maurice, his choices were significantly more restricted. Although his legal team would most likely file an appeal, it appeared highly improbable that they would be able to undo the damage. Is it possible that he might try to save his public image by issuing a statement or by appearing on the show? It was still unknown at the time. Additionally, the dynamic on Love and Marriage Huntsville had been altered as a result of this case. Fans were paying more attention to the relationships that were depicted on the show, and it was abundantly clear that Kimmie's strength in the courtroom would undoubtedly have an impact on the way that cast members interacted with her in the future. Kimmie did not merely survive Maurice's deception, rather, she turned it into a powerful victory, and the entire world is watching to see what she will do next. This is one thing that is certain. Did you find Kimmie's daring actions to be surprising? Are you of the opinion that she made the right decision by turning Maurice in? Your thoughts are welcome in the comment section. We'll see you in the following video.